Welcome back, my friends, to the channel. This is Decoding with Cody, and before I even start, I want to make sure you guys go back and watch my last video about Joe Biden and his connection to Pluto, the planet, and also Pluto, like Hades, the mythological god of the underworld. If you don't watch that video, you might be a little bit confused about what I'm about ready to share here. Again, Pluto, the Hades, the god of the underworld, wields the bident, kind of like Biden, and a bident is a two-pronged weapon, kind of like the trident is the three-pronged weapon. Okay, and Pluto wields the bident, just like Joe Biden, okay? Now, January 9th and 10th, Joe Biden is going to be, which is tomorrow and the next day, Joe Biden is going to be in Mexico for the North American Leaders Summit, okay? And this is where three countries in North America, Mexico, Canada, and the United States, meet to talk about issues of the North America. Now, this summit is also known as the Three Amigos Summit, and this is going to be the words I'm going to use to decode later on in this decode. I just wanted to show you guys and how this ritual is adding up, okay? So, it's going to be in Mexico. It's called the Three Amigos Summit. All right, I've been talking a lot about Biden in the 13th of January, but I'm really going to talk a lot about something interesting that could happen the next 2 days. But either way, it's very interesting what I'm about ready to show you, all right? So, with that in mind, with Biden going to Mexico, WWE, the World Wrestling Entertainment, which is a scripted, fake fighting, company that I decode all the time. If you guys don't know what it is, I decode it because they run scripts and they create characters that run parallel with real life events. And in fact, I've already used these two characters right here in September to show you how they predicted the Queen's death before it happened. How they used these two characters in September to predict the Queen's death. Now, they've come back and they've selected their next victim, okay? Remember, in September, they attacked a Scottish wrestler, and remember, the Queen died in Scotland. If you guys don't understand all that, please go back to my videos and go back in September and find that video. But these two characters are Karrion Kross and Scarlett Bordeaux. That's not their real names, but that's their stage names, okay? And on the 2nd of December, they came back, and they said they're selecting their next victim. And they did so using a tarot card and these candles, very occult symbolism, okay? The character they selected to attack next is a Mexican wrestler. I just told you Biden's going to Mexico tomorrow. They selected a Mexican wrestler, Rey Mysterio, okay? This is the guy on the card. He's praying, and he has the Catholic symbolism, the cross. He's got a bunch of Catholic tattoos. I think this was actually predictive programming for the Pope that was going to die, okay? Because the Pope, the former Pope Benedict, died on the 31st, the last year of 2022, the last day of 2022, and these people came back and put this Catholic symbolism. Of course, they used Rey Mysterio, who's famous for his Catholic symbolism. That was their next victim. And then the Pope dies only like 28 days after this. All right? So, with that in mind, let's fast forward to yesterday when they came back, and this time they attacked an American wrestler named Madcap Moss. This is the guy you see here laying down in front of these two. And what they did is they beat him and they choked him out, they knocked him out. They put Rey Mysterio's mask on him. Okay, and then they left that Rey Mysterio card that they pulled out on the 2nd of December on top of this American wrestler, Madcap Moss. So I'm going to talk about all four of these characters and how they're tied to what I believe is an upcoming ritual with Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, okay? And all the chaos, because I'm going to show you just exactly how this is tied. So let's start off with Rey Mysterio. Okay, he's a Mexican wrestler known for his Catholic symbolism all over him. He's got the Catholic cross all over him. Tattoos. He wears a mask with it. He's got the cross around his neck. And he's the smallest wrestler ever to wrestle in WWE, really. I mean, he's the most famous small wrestler. He's only like 5'6". And this is why I'm going to compare him to Pluto. Because remember, Pluto is like that small planet. Just like Rey Mysterio is the small wrestler. Okay? Now, in my last video, I compared, Pluto with Biden and the Bident. And remember, that's tied to Hades, the god of the underworld. Okay? But before I get to that, I want to talk about, again, just read here, guys. Rey Mysterio, he is a devout Catholic, frequently crossing himself before his matches and bearing numerous religious tattoos on his body. Most notably a cross tattooed on his chest in the rosaries, okay? So this immediately should make you think of the Catholic symbolism. And remember, the Catholic Pope that just died was named Joseph, and Joseph Robinette Biden is our second Catholic president, okay? And then Joseph Biden's going to a really Catholic country tomorrow, Mexico, and this wrestler is from Mexico, and he's Catholic, okay? And with that being said, I want to talk about this Catholic symbolism again, because the song that Karrion Kross and Scarlett come out to, the two that attacked these wrestlers, they come out to a song with the lyrics, he is time, famine, war, pestilence, you cannot endure, the end is here, the end is here. And then it repeats the phrase, fall and pray, and it repeats it, pretty much the whole song is this fall and pray. Okay, it's very dark, very much revelation-y, maybe much biblical, very much Catholic symbolism, okay? And what's interesting, guys, I'm going to tie all this together, okay? So the phrase fall and pray equals 110 and 47. Now remember, Biden's going to be in Mexico on January 10th, which can be written 110, okay? Now, we're about ready to enter the year of the rabbit, which equals 110 and 47 also, just like president, just like fall and pray. All right? But notice that rabbit, which we're going to start on January 22nd, the year of the rabbit, equals 52 and 25, just like Celtic. And Celtic is Joe Biden's Secret Service name. Okay? And remember, Rey Mysterio is wearing the Celtic cross on his, essentially the Celtic cross on his mask. Okay? So it's no coincidence that Joe Biden, the Catholic president, his nickname is Celtic, which is a 3-cipher match to rabbit, and we're about ready to start the year of the rabbit. Also notice that devil, Catholic, rabbit, and Biden all equal 25. And what I left out here, guys, is Pope equals 52 and 25, just like Celtic, just like rabbit, just like devil. And remember, in my last video, I compared Biden to Hades, Pluto, who could also be referred to as the devil. Okay? So this is all about this devil symbolism. And it's all about this Catholic, this Catholic end times symbolism. All right? So ask yourselves about all these connections. And what's happening right now in the mainstream media? Well, everyone's falling and praying for Damar. Okay? So I just told you that Karrion Kross brings out this tarot card with Rey Mysterio, the Catholic Mexican wrestler, praying. And now we have this incident with Damar that happened in the Bills game where everyone's pray for Damar. This is on their shirts. It's on the everyone's changing it to their profile pictures. Pray for Damar. Notice it's a direct match to Rey Mysterio. Another thing I should note here is that in the base cipher, the English ordinal cipher, Joe Biden also equals 64. Okay? So just ask yourselves again. And then the song that these guys come out with is nothing but fall and pray, fall and pray, fall and pray. And now everyone's falling and praying for Damar. And he's matched to Rey Mysterio, who's on their card that they're holding up. It's just crazy. Now, let's tie all this Pluto and Hades and Satan and devil connection to Rey Mysterio, because Rey Mysterio, the smallest wrestler, Pluto, the smallest planet, Rey Mysterio and Pluto returns both equal 125. Okay? Which again is another multiple of 5. But another anagram of the 125 is the 152. Notice that Joe Biden equals 152. Okay, American equals 152. And notice that if you take Joe Biden's first name and replace it with Pluto, it's again a direct match with 152. And what's interesting about this number, 152, is that in Jewish gematria, chaos equals 152. Okay? Hell on earth, Pluto, the god of hell, Hades, the devil. All right? So this is very clear symbolism. The America is going to be thrown into chaos after what of the events that I believe are coming. More than we already are in chaos. So what I also want you guys to notice is that Kamala Devi Harris, his vice president, has the 152, just like Pluto Biden, just like Joe Biden, just like America. And again, that ties, it's an anagram of the 125, where A Mysterio equals 125. But notice that Kamala Devi Harris also has a match with sudden destruction. And I'm going to bring that, again, that's all about the chaos, a sudden event that brings chaos and destruction. Okay? So, let's talk about Scarlett Bordeaux, the wrestler who is with Karrion Kross. All right? And Scarlett Bordeaux, that's her stage name. Her real name is actually Elizabeth, guys, kind of like Queen Elizabeth. And remember, I told you they predicted Queen's death with their skits. And now they're talking about attacking a Mexican Catholic guy. And just like Biden's going to be in Mexico and he's Catholic. And notice the event that Biden's going to be in Mexico for, 3 Amigos Summit. It's a direct match in 2 ciphers to Scarlett Bordeaux, 244-100, just like sudden destruction. Okay? And I just showed you Kamala Devi Harris' connection to sudden destruction. Also, what I forgot to put here is that Joseph Robinette Biden equals 215, like sudden destruction. Okay? So it's crazy, guys. It's absolutely crazy that her name matches the 3 Amigos Summit, and she's the one pulling out a card of a Mexican Catholic, and the Catholic president's going to be in Mexico. Now, like I said, last night, they pulled out this card and they put it on this American wrestler named Madcap Moss. And I think they did that because, again, Joe Biden is not actually Mexican, so they had to use an American for this symbolism. So they used Madcap Moss, okay? And they put Rey Mysterio's mask on him because Rey Mysterio is the Mexican, right? So his Mexican mask is covering the American, just like Biden's going to be in Mexico. All right? Do you guys see what I'm saying here? I think it's pretty very clear. And again, this Madcap Moss, if you take his full name, Michael Carter Rallis, and Joe Biden's full name, Joseph Robinette Biden, and you abbreviate their middle initial, Joseph R. Biden and Michael C. Rallis equal 125 and 62. Okay? Direct match in 2 ciphers. And I just showed you the 125s back here with Rey Mysterio equals 125. Okay? So Rey Mysterio equals 125, Michael C. Rallis 125, Joseph R. Biden 125. Okay? So that's why I believe they used him in this ritual 1 day before the Mexican summit, okay? Or like 2 days, because it happened yesterday. So, what's crazy about all this is I'd already told you about the Year of the Rabbits coming up, and I already showed you all the connections that a rabbit has to devil and to Pope and to, all that stuff back there. Well, now let's talk about Karrion Kross, the wrestler who's pulling out this card and attacking these wrestlers. Back in 2018, Karrion Kross took on the name The White Rabbit. Do you believe it, guys? The White Rabbit. And look at what you get if you and this is why I'm following him. This is why I followed him, his clues, before the Queen died. Okay? And that's why he is the guy in WWE that's giving the most symbolism for events. And notice that if you type in follow the White Rabbit, which is basically following Karrion Kross and following his rituals, this is going to lead you to what's happening. And look at this, guys. Follow the White Rabbit is 109, just like Kamala Devi Harris and Joseph Robinette Biden. And notice that it's 109, kind of like Biden's going to be in Mexico on the 10th and the 9th of January. Kind of like 9 and 10, right? 109. So how crazy is that, guys? Follow the White Rabbit. That's Karrion Kross's name, is the White Rabbit back in 2018. Very crazy. Notice that it says he came with a new character called the White Rabbit. He gave his wooden scepter to Paul London, kind of like Queen died in London, and ordered him to murder Masquerita Sagrada in cold blood for leading the rabbit tribe to his secret lair. Can you believe that, guys? Like, it's crazy. And again, people wonder just how crazy it is. It just gets crazier and crazier every day. So anyways, guys, I hope you guys understood. I appreciate you all for watching my videos. You guys are all much appreciated. Please take care out there. Have a great night. And let's just watch and see what happens tomorrow in Mexico. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm just saying it's very interesting, the symbolism. So I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.